Okay, that was a real Don Reno classic there, When You and I Were Young Maggie. And Don didn't write this tune, but he probably has the most famous version on the banjo. And we've got quite a bit of parts to go over here, so we won't linger too long on any one part because we have so much to cover. But it's in the key of G, so we're going to get going here on this thing. We're going to start out by hammering on the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and we're going to hit the G string first, the 3rd string first. So we're hitting the G string first, and then we're going to hammer down on the 2nd fret on the 4th string. Actually, I'm hitting it straight, and then I'm going to hammer down. Okay. So I'm hitting the G string, hitting the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then coming back and hammering down on the 2nd fret. Okay? And we're going to hit the G string right after. And then we're going to start the tune. Alright? From there, we're going to hammer on from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And just do a forward roll. And then we're going to come over to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Okay, let me play that for you slow. And what I'm doing there is I'm hitting the 1st string after I hit this note on the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And then I'm hitting the 2nd string after I hit this note on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. So it sounds like this. Okay, so that's quite a bit of the melody there. Okay. Your next melody notes here are going to be, and it's going to lead you into your C chord. So we're going from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret on the 3rd string. And we're going to use that partial C chord position that you've probably learned before in some of the other DVDs. And all it is the regular C chord, but we leave the 1st string open. Okay. So let's go over that beginning again. Okay. Now if you notice, part of Don's style is he likes to come back on that 5th, and I'll point that out right here. Okay. And that adds a little bit of hop to Don's playing. He likes to use that 5th string like that. So he comes back to the 5th there again. Okay. So these melody notes here, and we're going to go into that C position, and then we're going to come back up to the 5th again, roll forward on the 5th, 2nd, and 1st. I'm coming down, and then I'm going to hit the 3rd string in the roll, then the 2nd string, and then hammer on the 2nd fret on the 4th string. And it's just all forward rolls there. Alright, and then we're going to hit the 2nd fret on the 4th string again to get the melody. Again, there's that 5th. Okay. Okay. Most of this should be pretty self-explanatory to you, especially if you've worked through a lot of the Reno workshop disc already. But I'll play this whole first part again slow. After the C, we'll stop in this D position, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, now this D position here is a position Don uses a lot, especially in things like Dixie Breakdown. You've probably heard that before. And all it is a forward roll, and it's a partial D. I don't know if you can see it in my hands or not, but I'm just noting the 2nd fret on the 3rd string and the 4th fret on the 4th string, and the other 2 are open. And I start the roll out on the 2nd fret. Let's see. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm telling you right there. Like I've said before in these other tunes that I've been teaching, it's hard for me to slow this stuff down. It's been a long time. But anyway, so I start the roll out on the 3rd, or on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And after that, you just start rolling on the 4th, 2nd, and 1st. You roll forward, and then you roll forward again. This time you roll on the 4th, 2nd string, and 1st. Actually, that first roll is the 4th, 3rd, and 1st. Sorry about that. So you hit that 2nd fret is what was confusing me there. It's 2nd fret on the 3rd string, 1st, then roll forward on the 4th, 3rd, and 1st, holding down that D position, and then roll forward on the 4th, 2nd, and 1st. So it sounds like this. Okay? Very simple. All it is just you're alternating the 2nd note in the roll. Okay? Now sometimes Don would do the same roll. It's a forward roll, but he'd start out on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Instead of changing your 2nd note or the 2nd string in the roll from the 3rd to the 2nd, Don would just come over here and reach and hit this 4th fret on the 3rd string, which is the same as your 2nd string open. So it's the same sound, it's just not quite as ringy, I guess it would be. You have a little bit of different sound, but it's basically the same notes. You can do it however you want to do it. So back to the tune here, we're going to start out again. Okay. Here we're going to, when we get to the C, this partial C, we're going to hammer on the 2nd fret where we're holding the C chord down, and we're going to pinch the 3rd and 2nd strings. I'm still holding down that C chord, leaving the 1st string open. And I'm just hammering on the 2nd fret on the 4th string and pinching the 3rd and 2nd strings. Okay, and how that sounds is... I end up on that 4th string open. Okay, now this D chord I'm using here is a partial D You can hold the whole D down if you want to. On the second, the third, second, and first strings. Your regular D position. But all I'm doing after this hammer-on, I'm just hammering on your typical hammer-on there from the second to third. And then I'm reaching and grabbing this partial D position, leaving my middle finger here on the third fret on the second string. But I'm grabbing this partial D to get the melody here on the second fret on the third string. And then I'm pulling off on the fourth fret while holding the second fret down on the third string. So okay. Let me play this whole first part again one more time, slow, and see if you can play along with me. Okay. Now, this part here, the tune goes to a C chord. This part is really tricky, and if you don't have your timing right or the roll right, you can really get hung up in it. And I'll show you how it goes. It's going to be hard to play slow, so bear with me. But what I'm doing here is I'm using my first finger on the right hand to walk up from the third fret on the second string, and I'm hammering on to the fifth fret. And then I'm rolling forward. Okay. Okay, this is really kind of weird, and this is what I was telling you before, where Don throws his fifth string in. See how he starts the roll over on the fifth string? Okay. Let me play this for you again. And I'm pulling off, I'm hammering on to that fifth fret. And then I'm pulling off from the fourth fret to the third fret on the second string. And I'm grabbing this note on the fifth fret on the third string after that pull off. See, he starts the roll over there. It's kind of real quirky right there. Okay, it's hard for me to explain, but hopefully you can get it from that. Let me play it again. Okay, after I'm doing this second pull off, I'm pulling off from the fifth to the third fret. And I'm just rolling while I roll forward, and when I'm doing that forward roll, I'm reaching up and grabbing this fifth fret on the third string to the fourth, and then to the third on the second string. And I'm actually hammering on that fourth fret on the third string there. Okay, that's going to take a little bit of practice. Like I said, it's hard for me to play it slow. But if you listen to the original recording or listen to the intro there at the beginning of the segment, you should be able to get the timing of it, but it's important to remember that roll starts over right there. It's real weird to get, but it sounds good, and it's kind of hard to do. Something like that. So after the C, just going to go to a regular D position. You hit this melody note on the 4th fret on the 3rd string again. Just roll. And you're going to go to an A chord here. And when you do, you're going to slide into it. Back to your 3rd string there on the 6th fret. Grab this 7th fret on the 2nd string. Okay, and I'm pinching that a little bit there on the 1st and 2nd strings. Okay, so okay, back to this D, pinch all 3. Then we're going to come up here to this position here. We've covered this before, I'm sure, but this is a common lick Don does. Okay, and we're playing a minor chord against a major D chord here. And then really what it is a B minor walking down to an A minor. But you don't really need to know that. Just know the position. And the position is your 1st and 2nd strings on the 12th fret, and your 3rd string is going to be fretted at the 11th fret. And just back that down to the 10th fret there. Okay. So I'll try to play all the bridge here, and up to that point. All right. Okay. Now I'm brushing that too with the hand, the right hand here. And remember to mute the bridge. Okay. And then it starts over just like the beginning. Alright. So that last little bit should be self-explanatory. We covered that. Alright. Now that little lick there Don does, we may have covered that before in the 5 DVD set if you have that, but it's a takeoff of it's kind of a version of one of Earl's. I'm not going to say it's Earl's lick, but it may be. It could be Don could have originated the lick. I don't know, but we won't get into that here. But anyway, you've heard Earl do this before. Okay, well this is a version of that. Alright, and if you listen to Don's original version of When You and I Were Young Maggie, he does this in there like that. And what I'm doing is I'm hitting the 5th string and then coming down and pulling off the 3rd, 2nd to open. Like that. And I'm pulling off on the 3rd, from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret, and open on the 3rd string right after that, and then hitting the G string after the pull off. Okay, and then follow up with, which is a trademark of Don. He usually follows up all of his passages like that at the end of a break or an instrumental. Just a forward roll, 5th, 2nd, and 1st, and then fret the 2nd fret on the 4th string and roll forward on the 4th, 2nd, and 1st, and then hit the G string. Okay. All right. I think you probably got that there. Like I said, we're going to have to move along because there's a lot to be covered in this one. So this part here, we're going to do Don's double roll break that he does. And we're going to start out up here at the 7th fret. And you would think that you would start out on this double roll is going to be just like double banjo blues, which you probably already know. But what I'm talking about is Don's using a double roll like that, but we're going to use it for When You and I Are Young, Maggie. But you would think that you would start out here, but Don actually starts the roll out on the 5th. And I'm going to start rolling, even though my hand's here on this 7th fret on the 3rd string, we're going to roll forward on the 5th, 2nd, and 1st right off the bat. Okay, so don't be confused by my hand being here just yet. We are going to use that note. Let's start off from the end of the 1st break. Okay, see how I did that? So I'll roll forward on the 5th, and then I'm coming over here and rolling forward on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. I'm fretting the 7th fret on the 3rd string. I'm leaving the first 2 open. And then I'm going to grab the 9th fret on the 3rd string, back to the 7th fret, and I'm just going to slide back. Okay, so I'm just sliding back, keeping that forward roll going. You can slide down off of the 4th fret on the 9th, or not the 4th fret, the 4th string on the 9th fret, if you want to. And just hit that G string open. Just remember to listen for the melody there. It's the same melody notes that we did before. We're going from the 2nd fret to the 2nd fret to the 1st fret on the 3rd string. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm coming over and hitting the 2nd to 1st to open, and I'm holding this back to that C position. We're going to hold down the 1st fret on the 2nd string. I'm going to grab that note on the 2nd fret, and we're going to grab this note on the 3rd fret on the 4th string, back to the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then roll open on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. All the while we're in C, we're holding down this note on the 1st fret on the 2nd string. I know that sounds confusing, but just remember to keep that melody in your mind. So if you can keep that melody in your mind, you really can't go wrong on it. You're just rolling forward the whole time. Okay. to hammer on twice there. We're coming back out of the C. I'm rolling forward on the 4th, 2nd and 1st, and I'm going to fret it at the 2nd fret on the 4th string to open, and I'm going to slide up here to this G position. I'm sliding forward. Just keep that forward roll going. Almost back to that same position we started with. I'm going to be at the 7th fret. This time I'm going to hold down the 8th fret on the 2nd string. It's part of that G chord. You don't have to. You can keep it open like we started. It's just something that I do sometimes. Like I said, it's as long as you keep that melody in your head. Okay. So anyway, after you come out of the C, alright, I'm still double rolling, and I'm hammering on from the 8th fret to the 9th fret on the 4th string, holding down that note on the 7th fret. Just rolling forward. Okay, and we come down to this D chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to start the roll out on the 2nd or the 3rd string, holding down that D. Okay, and this is just like double banjo blues almost, because we're going to be doubling up on the 2nd string because we're keeping that roll going, the forward roll. Grabbing this note out of your 4th, on your 4th string, on your 4th fret. It's in your D position here. We're going to grab the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And then this is where we double up on the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. So your thumb and your index are going to be hitting this 2nd string twice. And then to the 1st string. Back to the 4th fret on the 4th string. So let me play that break for you so you get an idea of what's going on here. It's hard to explain going slow, but if you can hear it, what I'm doing, and know the positions, and remember to keep that forward roll, that double roll going the whole time, you shouldn't have a problem with it. It's not too hard as far as the fingering goes. It's just a matter of getting the timing down with that double roll. Let's see, so it starts out like this. Well, let me start that over. Okay, and I think I'm leaving that 4th fret on the 1st string open, off. I'm not fretting that at the beginning. Let's see. See, I've got my pinky off of the 1st string there. Then I put it down when we come down. Okay, and we end up on that 4th fret on the 4th string. Okay, but you can keep that down the whole time if you want. That's just a habit I've gotten into. It's whatever you want to do. Okay, remember to end up on that 4th fret, because that's part of the melody, and it's going to lead you right back into this position up here. So Start right back over like we started. Okay. This time when we come out of the C, slide up to the 4th fret on this 3rd string, and we're going to come down and hit this 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Okay. All right, and that ends the first half of the second break before we go into the bridge. So let me try to play this thing slow. It's going to be hard to do with the double roll, but maybe you'll get a better idea of what's going on here. So let's go here. Okay, well, I played it a little different, but I think you get the idea. Once you get those melody notes and keep that double roll going, you won't have a problem with it. Now, Don changes his little tag lick here a little bit too. Okay, and it's a little variation of that same. Okay, all I'm doing is hitting the 5th string, and then the 2nd fret on the 1st string, and then open on the 1st string, and then pull off on the 3rd to 2nd on the 3rd string. All right. So now this time when we're going to go into the bridge here, when we go into the C, we're going to do some brush work. And what we're going to do is we're going to bar our finger across the 1st and 2nd strings on the 3rd fret, and we're going to walk up to the 5th fret because we're walking into this C chord on the 5th fret. So, all right. Now, if you've got the 5 DVD set, you'll probably already be familiar with this. Okay. So let's go over what we're doing here. Like I said, we're walking from the 3rd to the 5th, and we're barring our finger down across the 1st and 2nd strings, and then we're going to come up and grab this partial F chord, back to the C, and we're going to pull off from the 5th or the 4th to the 3rd fret. Using these double stops, and then we're going to come up and brush the 5th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. Okay. All right, and you can vary this 100 different ways if you want to. Don never did the same thing twice. As I've always said in all of these discs, don't stick to what I'm showing you here. You can vary it up as long as you stay within the time frame of that chord. So you can add a little extra in there, something like that. But the basic lick is. Alright, so we're ending up on that C on the 5th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. I'm brushing both strings, and I'm going to hold down this G position here on the 1st and 2nd strings. It's part of your F position, G. Alright, and I'm going to brush 1, 2, 3 down to the 3rd fret while holding that 5th fret on the 1st string. Okay, and I'm brushing. Then back to the 5th fret, back to the 3rd fret, then the 3rd and 2nd strings, and then to the G position, then back to the first and second strings. Okay, but it's real simple. It's all right out of this F position G. So it sounds like this. Okay, let the chord do the work for you. You're not doing a whole lot with the left hand here. Okay, not too hard. I think you can get it from that. All right, and during the D, the A, and back to the D, he pretty much does the same thing that he did the first time around. No, he does brushes. That's right, he does brushes. I'm just brushing the D chord that we did before. I'm going to brush the third and okay, I got to think about it here for a minute. Okay, now I remember. Like I said, it's hard for me to slow this down. And I play it so many different ways, it's hard for me to remember exactly how I recorded in the beginning there. But after we do this, I brush this D chord, then I come up here to this D7th chord, and I'm kind of brushing all three strings, except for the first string is a little lighter than the rest. Okay, to the A, and this D7th chord is just based off of your D chord on the 7th fret, and I'm backing down the 3rd string to the 7th, or to the 5th fret, from the 7th to the 5th fret on the 3rd string. Brush the A chord, and then grab those notes just like we did the first time on the 7th fret on the 2nd string. Back to your D, then come up here and brush those minor chords. Okay, it's basically the same positions we used except for this D7th, but we're brushing it this time. So okay. One of the things here I just noticed, you want to add just this one little lick before you go into the D the first time. You want to hit those notes. You can brush them or you can single note them. So you hear that? I think I'm brushing up or hitting up with the first finger on the first string while holding down that G chord, and then brushing down on the 3rd and 2nd strings while holding that chord. Okay. And then we just finish it off either with you can finish it off with the double roll, but I think he finished it off with just a regular break after the last okay, and then I believe the fiddle comes in with the fiddle break, and next time around Don does another brush type break, and this time in the beginning of it instead of the bridge, and we're we're going to start out with this G chord position, your basic D shape G chord. We're just going to brush. Like I said, sometimes I'm brushing all 3 strings, but I'm not really hammering down on that first string. It's just kind of a ghost note, you could call it. I'm barely hitting that. And this is one of those things, too, that, you know, it's hard to convey in tab, which is why I'm not a big fan of tab. If I tab this out, it would show this note, this 9th fret note on the first string. And when you're learning it, you know, someone will be... You have to get the dynamics to it and the feeling in it that Don did. So it always helps to listen to, use your ear to listen to the original recordings to get the feel of the song. So 1, 2, 3, and then slide that back. And we're going to use these partial chord positions out of your G chord. 4th fret on the 3rd string and 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Okay. And I'm just brushing with the thumb on the 3rd and 2nd strings. All right. Okay. Slide back up to that position. Keep your finger down on the 1st fret after you come out of this double stop. You're going right into that C, see? Alright, so... Okay, we're going to do that same pinching that we did before. End up on the 4th fret, the 4th string open. And what I'm doing here is I'm just, after I hit that 4th fret open, or 4th string open, just doing a hammer on the 2nd fret, hitting the G string open, then I'm going to come down and brush this first part of your G chord, your F position G chord, on the 1st and 2nd strings. Alright. And then I'm going to brush again and pull off from the 5th to the 3rd, keep that position held. Then we're going to grab those middle 2 strings out of the chord. Same position we used before. Then to your D. Brush that. Like I said, we're still brushing on the 3rd and 2nd strings, but I am hitting the 1st just a little bit. Okay, and this is a variation of this walk down here. It's the same chords, B minor to A minor. We're playing this minor chord against a D, and I'm sure you'll recognize this. Don uses it all the time. Okay, so let me play this break for you slow, and try to play along with me here. Okay. Alright, when we come out of this walk down, I've heard Don do this several different ways, and I like the way he does it here. So he just doubles up on the thumb a little bit. Okay, and all I'm doing is sliding into that same position we used before. And then these same double stops. I'm sliding into it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, versus in the first time we went. But here I'm going. Same C chord, same pinch there. Now we're going to brush the second and first strings on this D chord. Okay, so it sounds like this. Okay, not too hard. Alright. Okay, so during the bridge here, the second or the third time around, I guess, Don is playing the same one we did before. Okay, and that's a tricky little lick there. Alright. The whole bridge there up until that point is just like we did before, though. Alright. Now this brush lick is going to start out on your D position on the 7th fret, and we're going to brush the 3rd and 2nd. Okay, and then we're going to come up, we're brushing the 3rd and 2nd, then we're going to come up to the 5th fret and walk back up to the 7th fret. And we're brushing the 2nd and 1st on that part there. Okay, now if you haven't learned these positions before, like I said, they're in the 5 DVD set. Most of you probably that are getting this video have already done that, so that should be pretty easy to you. But for those of you who haven't, it may take a little bit of practice to get that, laying those fingers flat across 2 strings. It's kind of unusual for some folks to do. But that's basically what we're doing. We're starting out on the 3rd and 2nd on the 7th fret, brushing those 2 strings, and walking up on the 2nd and 1st on 2 strings right up to the 7th fret. And then we're going to hit this 1st and 2nd strings open, grab this partial G, alright, just the 8th and 9th frets on your 1st and 2nd strings, part of that G we did earlier. Hit it open again, back to the 7th fret, just like we came up. And that would be a good practice for those of you that haven't learned this walk up yet. Okay. And what you want to do is you want to slide this position like that. Alright. Okay, and as I said before, during the C, there's many different ways to do this lick. You can add a little extra note if you want, but it's tough to get. If you watch my intro to the tune here, where I played the whole song in the beginning, you'll notice I actually tripped up a little bit. You can add one too many notes, but you can get it in there if you're fast enough. Okay, but the basic lick is, and slide that back. Alright. So, after you come out of that lick, we're going to start right off on the 4th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, and if you're quick enough, you can do a little single string. It wasn't in the original, but you can do that. it sounds good if you can get it in there. But and all I'm doing there is going from the 4th to the 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So I'm going 4th on the 3rd string, 5th on the 4th string, or 3rd string, sorry, and then the 3rd on the 2nd string. Okay. And then back to the melody line that we did before. Okay, and that's how he ends it. Very simple on the 12th fret. And then ends it on the 5th string up here. Alright. And that's When You and I Were Young Maggie. Just take it piece by piece. Learn one break at a time, one section at a time. Like I said, there are some really tricky spots in this thing, and you'll notice from me teaching it, I couldn't play it quite right sometimes, slow. Especially this C part. It's hard for me to play slow. But you hear that. Okay, now that was pretty good. That was about right. That's about as slow as I can do it. But if you listen to that, get that timing right. Okay, that was it right there. And also this lick, like I said, that's a tricky lick too. It's tricky to come back into those notes like that. But it's a real ear-catching lick, and if you're in a jam and you do that, people will really like that. It's a really neat lick. But like I said, just ended up with some harmonics. And there you have it.